out there, so you're going to stick with your bad decision and defend it because you don't want to admit you're wrong. But the freedom lies in repenting. And if you don't believe in God, repent to the universe. Repent to that child you chopped up. Why don't you go to the local butcher and watch them chopping up a cow, chopping up a chicken. When they get there, those babies struggle and try to get away, and they just come in, hack, hack, hack. Oh, you don't want to hear that? Well, they want to outlaw showing dead babies. Of course, now they want to kill kids up to age 3. Of course they want to euthanize old people. Why does every culture get psychos in control? Look at every other civilization. These evil people get in control, and Katie barred the door. Your call's coming up. I'm going to get into a bunch of news we haven't covered yet after I talk to 5 or 6 more entrepreneurs. We open the phones up for entrepreneurs to respond to Obama saying, you're nothing. You didn't do a business. You're not successful because you worked hard. You don't even deserve any of the credit, basically. And you're like, man, that's really attacking the American dream, the American system. I mean, look at the welfare system. Look at what it creates. Look at the cities run by the globalists. They're hellholes. It seems over the top, but that's what North Korea teaches. It's what Communist China teaches. It's what Fidel Castro teaches. It's what Hugo Chavez teaches. It's what the universities teach. And it's what the big mega monopoly banks and corporations teach. It's what they want. It's what they want to push. Now, I want to show you an article here that I just got during the break, but I'm very familiar with these type of hit pieces. And I'm going to get an article written about this at Infowars.com or Prisonplanet.com by Paul Watson, probably is who I'll call to do a blurb on this. So in the next hour or so, we'll get a report out on this, or the next 2 hours or so. But we'll also link to it right now at Infowars.com. It's out of Think Progress, one of the fake liberal channels. And we'll show people a document cam shot of that, poses as a gatekeeper. Now, this is like Media Matters, funded by George Soros, weekly meetings with the White House, saying they would infiltrate alternative media and destroy them from the inside. Criminal activity. I mean, like a foreign government. Racketeering that they would get in and destroy. Now, remember, they write articles about us at all these big so-called liberal sites saying world government doesn't exist. Obama being corrupt doesn't exist. None of this is real. Vaccines are good for you. Anwar al-Awlaki didn't hang out at the Pentagon, even though that's Fox News, Associated Press. Basically, I'm crazy. But they constantly write articles that I hardly ever cover. Harping. Media Matters, you name it. And I'll show folks a shot of this right now if you're watching at prisonplanet.tv. If not, just type in report. Drudge funneled at least 30 million visitors to conspiracy websites in the last year. And I look at where they claim they got that data, and I don't, if they count WorldNet Daily and InfoWars as the 2 sites, that's not really true. So they don't really even explain how they get this data. But it says the Drudge Report links to conspiracy websites. And it goes on to say that Drudge drives more traffic than any other outfit out there. And that's been reported on, more than Facebook, Twitter combined. And so because he drives so much to mainstream media that people are scared to expose his unsavory activities. They actually say that in here. They say because he's so big, the impact of Drudge support is reflected by public data from Quantcast. I don't even get how that explains it, typically. And then it goes on to break down the entire thing. It says, according to media sources regularly linked to by Drudge, a single link on Drudge Report can easily drive 200,000 and sometimes as many as 500,000 page views in an article. But that's not the real power of Drudge. All the media watches it and all of talk radio, and so they're too lazy to go out and look other places, and Drudge really has a hand on the zeitgeist of what is interesting. And, I mean, I go there before he started linking to me 5 years ago every day. I go to a bunch of sites, but I go there because Drudge is really on it. I mean, if something's breaking, he's got it up there. He and his small team. And so the lazy, uncreative dinosaur media, they go to the Drudge Report. So the real power isn't just the traffic he sends you. It's the lensing effect. I'd say 3-4 times the traffic. Of course, these idiots don't understand that. That's why they don't have a lot of traffic. They're legends in their own mind. They're getting more attention here than they've ever had. that then it gets all the media to start reporting on what you're doing. And I remember 3 years ago, Drudge started linking to our articles about them groping women and children and going in the pants. The TSA came out and said that's a conspiracy theory. InfoWars is evil on their blog. It doesn't exist. More videos came out showing it. They got caught lying. But you see, the old dinosaur media, the George Soros media, cannot stand the fact that they can't dominate debate. I mean, Drudge links to everything. To the Russian news, to the Japanese news, to the British news, to the Mexican news, to the U.S. news. It's just news, a great aggregate of what's going on. I mean, you think the mainstream media could recreate that, but they can't help it. They want to control everything. They want to show a limited spectrum. People have discovered that. Drudge links to us and others because he understands it's interesting. It's a lot of breaking news. We try to be accurate compared to dinosaur media, and we're in the zeitgeist as well. So what you see on Drudge is the zeitgeist. One of the best representations of it, if not the best, out there. And it's one thing to be able to be in the zeitgeist now. What about for, 16, 17, 18 years? And I'm not just going into a Drudge worship fest here. The point is Drudge is a trailblazer. First linking to us probably 8, 9 years ago, but our servers couldn't handle it. Like a parrot testing the perch. We couldn't handle the traffic and didn't link to us. Tried again later. The last 5 years, Drudge has linked to us hundreds of times. And it has really helped us to fight the globalist. Exposing documents law enforcement sends us saying veterans are terrorists. Confirmed documents. Well, Drudge waited 3 or 4 days till the government admitted those were real. He linked to us. First media, big outlet to do it. Was I a conspiracy theorist because I broke secret documents? No, I was doing what real journalists do. I'm a talk show host. I give commentary. I give analysis. I give my opinion. But I also give you breaking original news in video, audio, text, guest, you name it. I gave you 15 years ago that there was pedophile stuff going on at Penn State. And it trailblazed so much with my guest, I'd forgotten that. I was a conspiracy theorist 15 years ago. DeCamp, 20 years ago, saying the Catholic Church had networks of pedophiles taking it over. He was called a conspiracy theorist. Now it's mainstream news. The difference is we're trailblazers. We're telling you the earth is round. We're telling you that the earth is at the center of the universe. You get locked up for that, folks, when you're first to say it. So what's happening here is they're absolutely in their death throes, floundering around. And I mean, imagine, White House-funded, run, controlled Media Matters sits there as a nonpartisan, tax-free entity operating as if they sit there and tell you what is and what isn't, and then they panic that something like DrudgeReport.com is legitimizing to a great extent what we do. Well, no. We've legitimized what we do, and Drudge doesn't like tyranny as well and is more and more covering what we do. But let me give you a newsflash. We've been on XM for over now 3 years. We're on over 115 AM and FM affiliates. I've been on the cover of Talkers magazine and all the other big publications. I've been in Rolling Stone, Nightline, MSNBC. You can't ignore us. It's the implication that you're gatekeepers over here, and then you're going to tell Drudge what he's going to do, as if even if you guys were able to manipulate something down the road, as if you've stopped us, as if anything you've done has stopped us. I'm hiring 6 reporters right now. I just hired 6 graphics people. I'm hiring more IT people. I'm taking the money that comes in here and putting it right back out because my passion is news and information and truth and defending this republic. I'm one of those bitter clingers Obama talks about. I'm one of those free market entrepreneurs for liberty. I'm one of those people that works 18 hours a day. I'm one of those people that has electricity in my mind and a sparkle in my eye. Okay? And you don't like it. So you sit there and take your foundation funding, your globalist banker, takeover, collaborator media, and you sit there and gatekeep all you want. You're not stopping jack crap. You got that? Excuse me. Excuse me. It's a family show. Okay? It's how pathetic and servile and traitorous you are. Hey, have you read the Financial Times of London or Newsweek telling us world government's here, run by bankers? Everybody's heard me for 17 years say global government in the form of bankers through derivatives and carbon taxes was coming. How'd I know? They wrote white papers on it. Everybody heard me talk about Agenda 21 17 years ago. Everybody heard me talk about all this. Okay, so don't sit there up on your perch and tell everybody that you're the gatekeeper and you control reality like Karl Rove said. Guys, will you print me the Karl Rove quote about history's actors, please? In front of the New York Times and Washington Post, he goes, it doesn't matter what reality is. You do what we say. The public does what we say. We can tell you the earth's flat tomorrow and you'll believe it. Well, not me. Do you understand George Soros? Do you understand? It's unbelievable. Conservatively, Drudge drove over 30 million page views to WorldNet Daily and InfoWars in the last year. Since these sites derive their income from displaying advertisements and selling products to web visitors, Drudge is certainly an important, if not essential, source of income for conspiracy theorists. You idiots. If you ever attack me as a frontal assault, I could raise $5 million in one day. We're not funded by George Soros, you twit. See, you're trying to make Matt Drudge George Soros. In your little mind, some big robber baron sugar daddy. He's not a big robber baron sugar daddy. Drudge some weeks has driven 30% of the traffic on Infowars.com. Usually it's about 10%. But we don't just have Infowars. We have Twitter. We have more than 10 Facebook pages with more than 800,000 likes. We have hundreds of millions of views every few months on YouTube and other platforms. We've got, as you see them, tentacles. You see liberty as a cancer? Let me give you a little news flash. We've metastasized everywhere. That's why the globalists haven't killed me. They figured that out at the higher management level than you twits. Okay? There's no shutting the signal down, scum. We're not funded by one sugar daddy. You understand that? We're funded by the listeners of this show. You know, I didn't plug products last hour. Most radio shows, every segment plug a sponsor. We could take unlimited sponsors right now and have a little 30-second plug during each segment. It would bring in $5 million a year. Do you hear me doing it? You ought to thank your little globalist crony New World Order stars that I haven't even tried to raise money. But by the way, I am going into that phase now because I need to get the reporters and the crew and the people to go to the next level. You know what makes me happier than a pig in mud? That Rob Dew and Mike Adams did a report together with admissions of troops training to confiscate guns traitorously. And it's better than I would have probably done on a one-off, and it's going viral right now. Troops training to kill Americans who refuse to turn in guns. It's going viral right now. And you know how beautiful that is? Not so I can sit at home once I get all these reporters in place, but so that even if you kill me, it just keeps going and going. Because the goal here isn't about hanging out in New York and going to the cool parties or L.A. like you little toads do and go up to the bankers and, you know, maybe get a grant or some banker money. The goal here is to win civilization back for humanity. The goal is to defeat you. The goal is for liberty in our time again. The goal is to not be slaves to a Soviet globalist bankster collective that wants a worldwide North Korean type system. It's liberty versus dark age, freedom versus bondage and humiliation. We're not going away. We're committed, and nothing is going to shut us down except God. You got that? Nothing will stop the signal. You killed me. People see through it. Increases our power. You